At the very beginning of the story, we see Ben Gates and his father Patrick carefully examining a mysterious code hidden within an old, torn diary page. This code is said to hold the secret path to a legendary treasure. Ben's close friend Riley points out that the code is incomplete and only a single word could be deciphered. But when Ben and his father think deeply, they realize the clue refers to Lady Liberty, which in French connects to the Statue of Liberty. Since there are 3 statues of liberty in the world, they decide to investigate the one in Paris first, because the clue itself is written in French. Riley uses a drone to inspect the statue, but suddenly 2 police officers approach them for questioning. Ben distracts the officers while Riley discovers an inscription on the statue. He quickly takes a photo and cleverly asks the officers themselves to translate it. The translation reveals a reference to a royal table belonging to the Queen of England, of which only 2 exist in the entire world. One remains in England, while the other was gifted to America and is now preserved inside the White House. But this raises a bigger question. Where did this diary page originally come from, and how did it reach them? To answer that, the story takes us back in time. It is the year 1865, just 5 days after the American Civil War has ended. 2 men named John and Silas approach Thomas Gates, who is known for solving the most difficult puzzles. John carries a diary containing a coded message and asks Thomas to uncover its truth. Beneath the code lies a cryptic hint, the debt that every man must pay. After a while, Silas tells John to go finish his important task, while he waits with Thomas, hoping Thomas might solve the code. John agrees and heads to Ford's Theater, where he is about to assassinate President Abraham Lincoln. The shocking sound of gunfire spreads panic, and Thomas realizes that the man he was helping is a traitor. By now, Thomas also understands that the diary's code is actually a map leading to a hidden treasure. Determined to keep it out of the wrong hands, Thomas tears out the diary page and sets it on fire. But Silas notices this, snatches the page before it is completely destroyed, and kills Thomas Gates. Years pass, and now Thomas's great-grandson Ben Gates narrates this story to a large audience, hoping his ancestor will be remembered as a patriotic hero. But in the crowd, one man stands up and challenges Ben's account, claiming it is false. He insists that Thomas Gates himself invited Silas and John to plan Lincoln's assassination. As proof, he presents a half-burnt piece of that very diary page. Ben is stunned after hearing this shocking claim, and he immediately tells the man that the paper must be fully examined. The man, named Mitch, is revealed to be the great-grandson of Silas. Once the investigation is complete, it is confirmed that the fragment truly belongs to the same diary. Even then, Ben refuses to believe that his great-grandfather ever tried to assassinate the president. Determined, he insists on examining the fragment more thoroughly. Both Ben and his father Patrick feel deeply troubled, yet the evidence Mitch presents cannot be ignored. Mitch's story threatens to tarnish the Gates family name, and that is why Ben vows to prove that the diary's code is nothing more than a path to a treasure, not a plan to kill a president. Without wasting time, Ben meets his old friend Riley, who has now started writing books. Unfortunately, Riley's book sales are poor, and his Ferrari has been seized by the government because he cannot even afford to pay his taxes. Ben asks Riley for help in retrieving the security code to his own house, since he has broken up with his girlfriend Abigail. After the breakup, Abigail throws Ben out and changes the house code. Seizing an opportunity, Ben secretly takes Abigail's employee card. Abigail holds an important position at the museum, and with this card, Ben hopes to enter her office and check the register. But before Ben can finish his task and leave, Abigail arrives and catches him red-handed. Confronted, Ben explains all his troubles to her and pleads for one chance to re-examine the old diary fragment. Abigail is angry with him, yet she listens. In the end, she agrees to help because Ben promises that in return, she can ask for anything she wants. During the investigation, at first nothing unusual appears, but then Abigail notices that on the back of the paper, a hidden code is written. She explains that the very next day this fragment will be presented publicly, and Ben's great-grandfather will be accused of being part of a conspiracy connected to President Abraham Lincoln's death. Her warning proves true the following day, when Mitch spreads the news in the media, declaring that Thomas Gates was the mastermind behind Lincoln's assassination. When the FBI receives this report, Ben's friend Peter cannot believe it. He feels something is definitely wrong and wonders why Mitch is digging up old secrets without reason. After some investigation, Peter discovers that Mitch is a dealer who buys and sells historical artifacts. This revelation shocks him even more, because if Mitch truly had such a valuable fragment, why didn't he sell it for a large sum of money? Why donate it to a museum instead? Peter realizes that Mitch must have a hidden plan, and he is chasing something far more valuable than just the diary page. Now, the story circles back to where it began. Ben deciphers the code and travels to Paris, where the Statue of Liberty reveals a clue about the Queen's unique desk. Without delay, he and Riley head to London. In the meantime, Ben's father is suddenly attacked by Mitch and his men. Mitch secretly clones Patrick's phone, so he can intercept every piece of information Ben shares with his father. Meanwhile, Ben and Riley quietly sneak into the Queen's office to uncover details about the mysterious desk. Riley, being a brilliant hacker, quickly disables the surveillance cameras and guides Ben step by step through the building. As Ben moves forward, he unexpectedly encounters Abigail. She wants to help him with the mission, but instead of accepting her support, Ben deliberately creates a loud disturbance. Abigail is confused at first, but Ben has already dabbed alcohol on his collar and neck, so the guards will assume he is drunk and arrest him. His plan works. The guards take him into custody and bring him to an interrogation room, where Abigail is also brought in. At Ben's signal, Riley unlocks the room's door, allowing Ben and Abigail to escape together. Guided by Riley through the hacked cameras, they stealthily search until they finally locate the Queen's office. Inside, they discover the extraordinary desk, which holds a secret code. As Ben deciphers the puzzle, he realizes this is no ordinary desk. It is a kind of vault. Opening it reveals a wooden piece covered with strange symbols. Ben immediately understands that another riddle is hidden within this artifact, so he takes it with him. Just then, a security officer notices that Ben and Abigail are missing, and the guards begin searching for them. Riley, watching everything unfold, triggers a false alarm to distract the guards, giving Ben and Abigail the chance to escape safely. After escaping the palace, Abigail, Ben, and Riley try to solve the puzzle. But within moments, Ben notices that Mitch and his men are chasing them. Realizing the danger, the three quickly run, while Mitch's men continue to pursue them. During the chase, as Ben's car approaches a speed camera, he cleverly holds the wooden plank near his face and accelerates so the camera captures an image, since his phone camera is broken. Riley hacks into the system and retrieves the photo. To throw Mitch off their trail, Ben tosses the wooden plank into the water, forcing Mitch and his men to stop following. Soon after, Ben goes to his father's house, hoping to decode the symbols on the plank using the photo. But Patrick cannot translate it. However, Patrick knows someone who can, Emily, Ben's mother. Though hesitant, Ben convinces Patrick to join him, despite Patrick not having seen Emily for 30 years. The next day, they meet Emily, now a university professor. At first, Emily is upset to see Patrick, but her mood softens when she sees her son. She happily helps Ben with the puzzle, though the wooden piece does not reveal complete information. Ben realizes he must now find the second desk, the one kept inside the White House. Without delay, Ben and Abigail head straight to the White House, where a celebration is underway. Abigail knows an employee there named Connor, who secretly admires her. At first, Connor hesitates, but Ben insists they only want to see the president's office, adding that Abigail truly wishes to go. Unable to refuse her, Connor agrees, though he warns them to be cautious since entry is strictly restricted. As soon as Ben spots the desk, he signals Abigail. She cleverly drops an earring and asks Connor to help her search for it, distracting him. Meanwhile, Ben examines the desk and begins solving the puzzle. But when he finishes, he discovers the piece they are looking for is missing. It has already been taken. Disappointed, Ben and Abigail leave the White House and inform Riley that the wooden artifact is not there. Confused, they wonder how they will ever find it. Then Riley recalls that presidents themselves must know about it. He reasons that since many presidents used this desk, the secret must have been passed down. Surely, it would be recorded in the confidential book that every outgoing president hands over to the incoming one. Ben has no direct way to meet the president, so a daring idea comes to his mind. He decides to create a situation where he can corner the president privately. The next day, Riley and Patrick book nearly every hotel in Washington, so that for the president's birthday, only the Warm Inn Hotel remains available. That evening, Ben meets the president, who already knows him as a member of the Gates family. Ben is aware that the president deeply admires George Washington, so he shows him a special map created by Washington himself, which reveals a hidden tunnel nearby. Intrigued, the president agrees to see it, and together they head toward the tunnel. The president instructs his guards to wait outside, wanting to explore freely. Once inside, Ben discreetly locks the two of them in. Without wasting time, he asks the president about the secret book. At first, the president refuses to reveal anything, but when he sees how important it is to Ben, he finally agrees. He explains that the book is kept in a special section of the library and even gives Ben the exact book number, which serves as the secret code to locate it. As they leave, the president warns Ben that if he is caught retrieving the book, he will not protect him publicly, so Ben must be careful. Soon after, Ben, Abigail, and Riley arrive at the library. Since Abigail works there, she knows every corner and leads them straight to the section the president mentioned. But the book is not visible. Riley assumes someone may have borrowed it, but Ben notices a hidden compartment behind a shelf. Entering the book number, he unlocks the mechanism, and the book slides out. Opening it, Ben finds the section about the special desk and discovers a photograph of the wooden plank. He quickly takes a picture with his own camera. With this clue secured, the three rush out, as the FBI is now actively searching for Ben. He suggests they all leave separately. Abigail is briefly suspected by the police, but manages to slip away, and Ben also escapes. Meanwhile, Mitch learns that Ben has found the clue, since he had cloned Patrick's phone and receives the same photo. Knowing that Emily can translate the code, Mitch goes to her. At first, Emily refuses to help, but Mitch threatens her with a gun, warning that he will harm both her and her husband unless she cooperates. He orders her to mislead Patrick when he arrives with the puzzle. When Patrick comes, Emily does exactly what Mitch demands. Yet, deep inside, she trusts her son Ben and believes he will uncover the real clue on his own. The next day, Mitch takes Emily to Mount Rushmore, because according to the markings on the wooden plank, the treasure lies somewhere nearby. But Ben and his friends have already arrived, since Ben has solved the puzzle himself. As soon as Mitch and Ben face each other, Mitch threatens to kill Emily. Ben quickly warns him that the police are already chasing him, and if they arrive, Mitch will be arrested along with him. Ben then explains that the final riddle is still unsolved, and Mitch cannot find the treasure without his help. Deep down, Mitch knows this is true, so he reluctantly agrees to work with Ben. Soon, they reach a rocky area where the next clue awaits. The riddle says, "When rain falls without season, the bird will show you the way." Ben interprets this and instructs everyone to pour water over the stones, believing the clue is hidden there. As the water flows, a bird symbol appears on one of the rocks. The bird points toward a narrow gap between the stones. Ben places his hand inside the rock and twists it, and suddenly a small passage opens between the mountains. The group quickly enters, but moments later the door shuts behind them, trapping everyone inside. They search desperately for an exit, but none is found. Suddenly, the floor beneath them begins to shake. Ben, Riley, Abigail, and Mitch slip and fall downward, while Ben's parents remain above. Separated, they continue searching for a way out. Then Abigail notices a staircase nearby. Ben wants to climb first, but the staircase rests on the same unstable floor. He instructs everyone to stand in a way that keeps it steady. Since Mitch is ahead of Ben, he climbs first. Once at the top, Mitch is supposed to help the others, but instead, he abandons them and refuses to lend a hand. As Abigail climbs the staircase, the wooden floor suddenly collapses. Riley quickly follows her up, but Ben is left behind on the unstable ground. It feels as though Ben's journey is about to end, but at the last moment, Mitch helps him. Together, the four reach a chamber where water has collected. Searching carefully, they realize the next clue lies beneath the water, and to uncover it, they must first stop the flow. Solving this final puzzle, they move forward and at last discover what they have been seeking, a magnificent underground city made entirely of gold. At that moment, Ben's parents also arrive. The treasure's existence proves that Thomas Gates, Ben's great-grandfather, was telling the truth and never conspired to harm Abraham Lincoln. Mitch confesses his plan. He admits that he knew he could never reach the treasure without Ben's help, so he tried to tarnish Thomas Gates' name to push Ben into the hunt. Yet their joy is short-lived, as water begins to leak into the chamber. If they do not escape quickly, they will be trapped forever. Patrick and Emily arrive just in time, and Patrick explains that since the water flows downward, the exit must be in the same direction. But as they move toward it, the current grows stronger. The passage is designed so that once the trigger is released, the door shuts automatically. Someone must stay behind to keep it open. Mitch steps forward. He says that if Ben promises, history will remember the Wilkinson family as part of the discovery of the Golden City. He will make the sacrifice. Mitch explains that his family name has long been stained with accusations of Lincoln's assassination, and he wants it redeemed through this discovery. Ben agrees and escapes with his family and friends. Outside, Ben informs the authorities that he has found a great treasure, but he is arrested for allegedly kidnapping the president. When brought before the president, however, the president lies to protect him, saying Ben actually saved his life from kidnappers inside the tunnel. This clears Ben of all charges, and he is honored with an award. Most importantly, he preserves his great-grandfather's legacy. Meanwhile, Ben and Abigail reconcile, as Abigail realizes that Ben truly understands her. News spreads that Riley played a role in uncovering another treasure, and suddenly his book sells rapidly. His Ferrari is returned to him as well. So friends, if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.